So then now after the music thing, what are you transitioning to after that?
My family. That was kind of like helped me wrap everything else up, because we needed that room, because once I got with my wife, who's now my wife, we needed that room because she had gotten pregnant in the first year. So we packed up the studio. And once we packed up the studio, I was kind of walking away.
I got you. You talk about your wife, and I myself always see you out and about, wife, kids, the consummate family man.
Appreciate that.
How much does that matter to you? And how much does that matter to you? And do you realize that maybe a young brother from your neighborhood or just from any of these surrounding parts may be watching you and saying, man, let me take notes of how Jamar's moving with his family and whatnot, and maybe that's how I may want to do it in the future.
I do notice, and I do pay attention to that, and I am cognizant of that, and that's why I try to make sure that I put myself out there the right way. You know what I'm saying? I just try to live right. It's easy when you just living right. You know what I'm saying? I love my family to death. You know what I'm saying? And I just try to celebrate life every day. You know what I'm saying? Every moment that I can have where I can celebrate it with my family, I'm doing that. And I do know that people watching. That's why I do put stuff up on social media. Like my thing is like not to go on social media to show everybody that we had a great vacation and this, that, and the third, or to rub nothing in nobody's face. I know that if somebody else saw it and this person know me, they know the transition is possible. They know going to these places is possible. They know attaining a certain amount of stuff is possible. And they know that I'm available every day. They could touch me every day and all that kind of stuff. And not that I got nothing super duper big and glorious and all that, but just attaining a stable family is something that some people would just never be able to do.
And a lot of people want to. I'm going to just speak for myself. I know that when I see you doing your thing, see you make a post on the socials, see you on a vacation, I see it as, yo, first off, that's a black man from the hood in the city, didn't grow up with much. We grow up in an environment where there ain't a bunch of family structure. You don't see 9, 10, 11 families in even one building, let alone one block. So now to see you moving and grooving with your family, honoring your family, honoring your wife, honoring your children, I just see it as, yo, that's a hell of an example to set. I don't see it as you trying to flaunt, shine on nobody or nothing. I see it as you setting an example for those that are watching you, those that even your own peers. You may inspire a peer of yours to say, you know what, man, let me hold this family down. Let me get this thing together, man. Maybe wifey been giving me chance after chance after chance. Let me get my act together. So that's how I
appreciate it. But you know what, too? It's hard, too. You know what I mean? It's hard because when a lot of people watching and stuff like that, it's not like you have to try to live a perfect life, because I ain't trying to live no perfect life and all that kind of stuff. But I know that people are watching, so you have to hold yourself accountable. You know what I mean? So you have to follow up on some of the things that you're supposed to do. But for me, raising a family is easy. Like over the course of the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks or whatever, we probably literally had like 10 different nieces and nephews and stuff like that at our crib.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we try to put ourselves in like a love environment. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier to just put yourself in an environment when you spreading love instead of hate. And we're trying to teach the youth how to build themselves up and stuff like that. You know, so that stuff is the kind of stuff I wear on my sleeve because I'm proud of it. Even when we was in Turks and Caicos, and even my wife, she was like, man, you always telling people about me being a nurse or something like that. And I'm like, like you can't, like do you understand how proud I am of you being a nurse? I could tell somebody that you're an ER nurse.
Shining.
My wife is an ER nurse.
Shining.
You know what I'm saying? I could even brag that my kids, both my daughters, have 96 GPA in school. Like the thing is, and it's not to rub that stuff in people's face, but it's just living right. And it's just hold people accountable. It's just when you living in front of your kids is just do your stuff the right way. Don't be no bullshitter.
Yeah.
You know, when we have our situation with WT and all that kind of stuff, and with our nonprofit and all that kind of stuff, that stuff was all out of pocket, regardless of how it ever looked to people and all that kind of stuff. And people would even be so crazy to say, oh, like these dudes is drug dealing, or these dudes is doing this, that, and the third, or whatever. Everything that we ever saw us with in WT or whatever came out of pockets, out of my pockets, out of my brother's pockets, 100%, except for when we got to deal with Joe Cruz and them with Adidas Legacy program.
Right.
Anything outside of that was 100% out of pocket, and we wasn't getting paid nothing.
Nothing.
How can you?
Nah, I know what y'all.
I don't
was
even
doing,
want.
man.
I don't even want to get
y'all was
into
giving
it.
them kids a lot of love. I remember.
And it was like even way bigger than just basketball.
Yeah.
It was the fact that a lot of the kids that we took on was just some of the kids that people even thought was untouchable.
Right.
It was even kids that some of these kids they burnt their third, fourth bridge already.
Right.
And we like, nah, that's my nephew. Nah. Even when other kids was trying to come into the school and all that kind of stuff, and we like, all right, well, we bring you into school, but you're gonna have to play with this group of kids. It wasn't like you're gonna replace them. It's like, no, these are my kids. Mm-hmm. As dysfunctional, whatever you think that they may be, like look at them. They were growing, they were progressing and stuff under our tutelage, and that's what we appreciated. That kind of stuff. It's just showing love and watching the youth progress, and just, you know, keep on doing that day after day after day. You know, that's all I want to do.
Righteous.